Hello hoes and hustlers. Since you clicked on this video, I assume that you have a pretty well-developed frontal lobe. And based on that, I assume that you can read and understand words pretty well, wouldn't you agree? And based on those assumptions, it's safe to say you already know what it is I'm gonna talk about based on the title and thumbnail of this video. So how about we just cut the bullshit and get right into it, okay? If you've been anywhere on the internet in the past week, you've probably seen one or many of the many deepfakes of our generation's greatest talent, Taylor Swift. Just so that we're all on the same page, a deepfake is when someone creates a fake picture or video using someone else's face and or voice, and they use technology to create it. I'm not a tech dude, so that's a pretty bro science way of defining it. Most of the time, it's celebrities that they're trying to impersonate. Now, while a lot of these deepfakes have been used for memes, they're also being heavily used for scams and for porn, which has become a really big problem lately. Studies have shown that over 90% of deepfakes now have been used for porn purposes. The internet is really fucking weird, which is exactly what brings me to talk about with Miss Swift here, as there have been a ton, and I mean a ton, of deepfakes of her that are very sexual. Many of them are depicting her doing it with Chiefs players, other celebrities, and even Oscar the Grouch. Yeah, I'm not joking. Now, I can't actually show any of them because 1, it will definitely get this video taken down. 2, it's pretty weird to share sexual stuff of another person without their approval. And 3, I don't want to get my ass sued. I'll only show you this one right here, and I'm pretty sure it tells you all you need to know. Now, deepfakes of celebrities doing really weird R-rated shit has been pretty common for a while, but none of them have gone to the level that the Taylor Swift ones have gone to, as these have been spreading like a goddamn wildfire. So, how did this all begin? Well, like all things morbidly disgusting, it started on Twitter. No, I'm not calling it X, I don't give a fuck. A Twitter user with 80k followers by the name ZVBear was one of the people who started this weird-ass trend. It started with posting a couple for shits and giggles, and then it got way out of hand. Eventually, it was to the point where you couldn't even open the app without seeing Taylor Swift having a giant with the Chiefs. It started off as a meme that just took the absolute turn for the worst. Because, surprise, surprise, Taylor did not find it very funny. There's not a lot of people out there who would find AI-depicted images of them getting hit from the back by Oscar the Grouch to be very humorous. So, she took action. Legal action. And boy, did it work. I don't know how she did it, but her lawyers were able to get almost every single deepfake of her off of the site. Almost any AI-generated pic of her face disappeared quicker than my will to live. Which is honestly pretty crazy when you really think about it, because these were being spread like crazy. One single post had over 47 million shares. 47 million. That's like 15% of the US population. Taking down each one of them must have been like trying to find a chocolate chip in a toilet bowl full of diarrhea. I don't know how they did it. It was to the point where Twitter users quite literally were not able to search for Taylor Swift or Taylor Swift AI in the search bar. That's just how far they were willing to go. These deepfakes were a rampaging wildfire, and Taylor's team was a giant ocean wave that took out the whole thing in one sweep. But it doesn't end there. Oh baby, it is far from over. This is just simply the first wave of the Taylor Swift tsunami right here. This story has gotten so much attention that even the White House, yes, the White House, has stepped in. The White House press secretary publicly spoke about how these images being spread were concerning and about how Congress really needs to take action on it. So yeah, this silly little meme might be presented for Congress to handle. This whole event is gonna forever change how deepfakes and AI will be approached, because this whole controversy has now influenced Microsoft and Twitter to make serious ass changes. Twitter has now hired 100 employee moderators to make sure this never happens again. And Microsoft is now making huge updates to their free AI software to also make sure shit like this doesn't happen. And so that they also don't get hit with the Taylor hammer. Now, I need to go back to the man who started this whole thing, Mr. Twitter user ZVBear. Because to say he fucked up is an understatement. If I were him, I would hire a plastic surgeon to completely change my face, get a new name, new credentials, skip town, and completely start a new life in Europe. I want to start off by saying that this was just a terrible thing to do. A disgusting, immature, terrible thing to do. I personally don't think deepfakes are really that bad, depending on how you use them. You want to make a silly image of Taylor Swift having a tea party with Kanye West, by all means go crazy. But repeatedly creating these sexually grotesque images of her without getting her permission and then posting them on your platform is not okay. It makes you come off as a sad, weird little troll. Because what do you really even get from this? I need to know. Your 15 minutes of fame are now gonna land you 15 years in jail, potentially. And besides the fact that it's fucked up, it's also extremely stupid. Of all the people you could have done it to, you did it to someone who has extreme amounts of money and influence. She has money for lawyers. Jewish lawyers, to be exact, so you know they're gonna be good. She has money to hire enough Jewish lawyers to fill up a goddamn synagogue. If her putting Twitter in a standstill and influencing billion-dollar companies doesn't show how much power she has, I don't know what will, buddy. Now, I've seen reports of her taking legal action against ZV Bear, but I don't have enough sources to prove it. So, that's all speculation. I wouldn't be even remotely surprised if she did, to be honest. And if she hasn't already done so, then I really hope she does. But there's one last thing that I need to mention with this whole scandal, which is the most important factor. And it's not being talked about in the media because they also don't want to be a victim. But I am going to take the risk and talk about it right here. And that is Taylor's fan base. There's 3 things in life that I'm scared of: God, death, and the Swifties. You think I'm joking, but I'm very serious. Honestly, I'm afraid to say anything bad about them right now because I don't want to go to bed tonight and then get my throat slit by some girl who hasn't fully processed her middle school trauma. Taylor's fan base is so large and so dedicated that her tours have quite literally boosted the economies of multiple countries. That is fucking crazy. This is a fan base you do not want to piss off, my guy. And by spreading heavy amounts of deepfake porn of their precious queen, that is exactly what Mr. ZV Bear did. Now, when Mr. ZV Bear was getting tons and tons of hate and threats from the Swifties, he was not very scared of them at all. Being cocky enough to tweet saying that he was not scared of being doxxed, even comparing himself to the Joker in terms of making fake names and fake phone numbers, and also feeling extremely confident because his account was private. Well, this tweet aged like a glass of milk in the hot summer sun because very soon after, the Swifties posted his full name, age, his address, and even the college that he graduated from online. The FBI works hard, but the Swifties work harder. I'm not gonna lie though, looking at his face, he looks exactly like the type of guy that would do something like this. Weirdos and internet creeps just have a certain look to them. This dude looks like he works the night shift at McDonald's and then spends half of his paycheck on the lottery thinking that it's an investment. I don't really approve of doxing as I think it's very dangerous, but I do believe in karma. I believe in what goes around comes around. And when this man went through the effort to post these gross-ass images for the world, he basically signed up for whatever was gonna come his way after that. Because even if you don't like her music, or even her as a person, she did not deserve this. No, I'm not a Swiftie, but I am a human with some goddamn common sense. And as far as I know, she has done nothing, absolutely nothing, to make something like this come her way. And it's just so sad that so many people are really taking the time out of their day to spread something so disgusting. That's all I wanted to talk about today. Shabbat shalom.